Hi everyone, welcome back to Enough is Enough. Ace of Pyrite back with you again, and today we are talking about drones. So make sure to stick around because I'm going to be getting into showing you some amazing static drone spots that you probably have no idea that you can get into. Now very quickly, so you know what you're looking at, I've got some footage playing in the background that just shows this alternative technique that I'm going to be discussing today, which is in the early prep phase. I get in, I have a quick look at one of the sites so I can shout up to my team that that's not where they're at, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that drone off to a static location. So essentially going to be using that much like the defenders, static cams throughout the round, and you can see as the round progresses what that allows me to do is move through that area much quicker than I might be able to otherwise. Now I am solo queuing here, so it doesn't work quite as smoothly as it might do when you're in a full 5-man team and you can coordinate this, but it just brings up the discussion about droning as a whole. Looking at the sort of silver, gold and even platinum areas, I think this isn't something that people can definitely improve on to get very quick results in their game. What tends to happen at the beginning of games, even in full groups, is all the drones rush in, focus on objective and scanning operators, and they end up dying. You come away from that drone phase with maybe 1 or 2 drones left if you're lucky. What you should be doing there, in my opinion, is having one dedicated operator who is going to go and just try and confirm the location of that objective, because the likelihood is you already know where it might be. And then the other 4 drones are going to have pre-planned placements that they're just going to go straight to and leave the drones there as static cams, watching key areas of that map. So watching rotations and, you know, heavy foot flow areas, so that they can be easily checked. If somebody dies, one of your fraggers early in the round, they can then get straight on the drones, and they've got 4 or 5 static drones there that can be used to give a lot of intel back to the team. And then as you move into the action phase, your second round of drones, your second wave, can then be used to drone in ahead of players and check those little nooks and crannies on the specific routes that you're running or areas that might not be covered by those static drones. So that's what we're going to be looking at today, and what I've done, as the title suggests, is I've gone through and I've put together some of the best positions that I have found across all of the ranked maps. Now if this proves popular, don't forget to leave a comment and I will happily do a drone video for each map, because whilst looking for these awesome spots that I've got for you today, I've found plenty of others as well, so quite happy to sort of branch out and look at each map in turn. But for today we're going to just move through and have a look at each map, and I'll give you one hell of a drone spot for each of them. Moving on from the theory then, let's start having a look at these drone spots that I've promised you. First map that we'll look at is Oregon, and I'll follow the same format every time, so we will have a look at the static screen of what view you're going to get from the drone, and then I will show you how to get there. So this first one, you can see we've got a fantastic view over about 70-80% of meeting hole, which is a particularly important point on the Oregon map. It's used as sort of a central pivotal point quite often, especially when defending places like laundry, which is very common. So here you can see anybody rotating in and out of there, and the drone is actually in pretty good cover because of the wall that it's sat on, and also the defenders are likely to be focusing their attention towards the main lobby area, so they're not looking back here. First option for getting up here then is coming from the main lobby side. This one can be a little bit risky if defenders are setting up in here, so I've got an alternative for you as well. So first things first, we're going to get up on top of the sandbags, up on top of the speaker, and quite a nice easy one this one, straight over onto the brick wall, and then just buzz around to exactly where you need to be and get positioned, obviously being careful not to make too much noise in tweaking the position. And then the alternative approach, if you wanted to come from rear stage, if they're setting up in this area, is you can use these sort of electrical junction boxes here. You can land on top of the first one and straight up on top of the wall there. So 2 quick and easy methods for you to use depending where you're coming from or where the defenders are. You can see, if we have a look, that drone isn't, you know, it's not awfully obvious there. If you know it's there and you're looking for it, great, but if you're looking through that rear door, it gets snipped off by the scope, and a lot of the time defenders are looking towards main lobby anyway. Next up, you can see we've got a really special spot on bank. This has an amazing view of the lobby. I've got to give a shout out to the Penta boys. If you are on Twitter, you will have seen Penta tweet this last month, but I think there's probably a lot of people miss this one, and it is a super powerful spot. You can see tellers, upstairs, elevators. It really really is amazing. So this is a good gauge of the quality coming from the rest of the drone spots in this video. Now let's have a look how to get up there. This one actually gives us a great example of a number of the techniques that you're going to need to practice, and that's the you know, the near vertical jumps. We get up onto the leaflets there, and then just gauging the distance of the jumps like that from TV onto the ledge, and then we're going to get over there onto the light fitting, and again another one of those vertical jumps just to get even higher. And this is the trickiest part. You've got to nudge forward and then get over onto that photo frame, and then you're going to move right out to the edge of it before gauging again the distance over to that speaker so that you don't overshoot it, but you will end up with an unbelievable view of lobby. On to Chalet we go then, and there is another impressive Penta spot available that I will show you if I do a full Chalet video, but I've opted for something a little different here. Master bedroom is a very popular entrance area. There's a lot of vertical options down into the kitchen sort of trophy dining room area, and people like to blow the hatch, so this one's just going to help give you a view of that so you can watch for any defenders trying to hold that area. Into the drone we go then, and another bit of a tricky one for you. Sometimes there are some shelves on that wall that you can use, but under the weight of a drone they will more often than not collapse. So we get up onto the window frame, you nudge out as far as you can, and another one of those vertical leaps up onto the top of the window frame. Now this is the really difficult bit that takes some practice. Just judging the angle that you need to be looking at and where you need to start from, so you get that right distance onto the beam, and then you can make the jump over onto the window shutters. Just be careful around this final beam because there's not much room for your drone there, but once round you can take a final leap just to put you up onto that bottom shutter, and there we go. That is your view, and you can just position as you like to maybe see a bit more behind bed or whatever you want. You can actually see back into bathroom as well, so another cracker. Looking now at one of my favourite spots on board, you can see that this covers the heavy traffic area of waiting area. You can see all the way into the upstairs corridor, so anybody heading from CCTV towards office or towards armoury, you can watch for that, and you can also watch for those downstairs rotations up east stairs. Excellent spot, this one. Looking at how we get up there then, we will move into the drone, and we are heading for the trash bags or bin bags, depending which country you're from, next to the vending machine, which is going to allow us to get up on top of there, and then it's a jump onto the decorative orange lamp, and then I sort of aim a little bit towards the white box, but with a good vertical jump there is a ledge that you will just sit on top of, and then nudge forward a little bit towards that speaker, and you can make the final jump up on towards that damaged electrical box. Now you can see there I actually nudged to the back of it, so the corner of that box is in my view. That just helps camouflage you a bit, and there we go. Next up, we've got the spot that you saw me using during the intro to this video on Theme Park. It's in the arcade area, which for any drug or bunk based objective gives a fantastic view of what is a heavily used area. It's also worth noting how well camouflaged this is by the foliage on the wall, so very rarely will this drone be found. Getting into the how-to then, we'll just jump in the drone, and the first thing you're going to want to do is move over to the side of the vending machine. There is, I don't know what you call this, sort of like a trolley, something like that I suppose. You get up on top of there, and then your next jump is going to be straight up and on top of the first of two ledges, and then it just takes me a couple to get this one right, but you just want to nudge back, and then you're doing your straight up vertical jump, and you're going to hit the second ledge above you. There you go. And when you get up there you can see these electrical junction boxes, again always our best friends. They are just off there to the right, and it's just a case of getting the right angle on there so that you land on top of the top one, and then you can rotate around. You can see all that foliage that's going to be covering your drone there, and you just nudge forward, make sure you don't fall off, get yourself a nice little window in the leaves, and you've got a view onto the top of the mezzanine and also the arcade area. We'll stick to Theme Park for the next one, and this is one of my favourites out of all of the spots that I'm going to show you today. This one is absolutely insane. It just in terms of the space that you can watch from this spot. Look at all that down there, both sides of trains, such an important rotation on this map, and this just gives you basically full control over it. Now I know you'll be keen to see how this one's done, so let's take a look. First thing you're going to want to do, if you look just as you come through double door, you can use these like ammo crates to get up on top of the train carriage, and then straight in front of you there's a post there, and if you just jump up you can land on the lower ledge of it, and it's just going to be a lot of vertical jumps to move up ledges here. Now this final jump is a little bit tricky. You can see I just get it wrong the first time, but if you even move your angle down a little bit. Sometimes you'll just overshoot and come down the other side, so a bit of practice needed on that one. Once you get up onto the sort of monorail section, if you will, just take a jump through the bushes so you don't lose track of where you're going. Final jump up towards the window, and just that little crescent at the bottom there, that's what you're going to sit on top of finally. So when you turn around, you can see you've got a perfect view down towards officers and initiation on the right, and then the double door through to daycare on the left. Next, we move on to our new map, Villa, and I've got a cracking spot for you in the vault. This is particularly popular with defenders. They've got an angle into both objectives here, and it can be very difficult to assault and root them out of here. So any information can be vital when trying to assault this, so this is a great spot. And as a bonus, it's practically invisible because it just looks like a shadow, as you'll see. Probably one of the easiest spots that I'm going to show you how to get into then. It's quite simple. It's up onto the top of the right-hand-most gun cabinet as you look at it, and then you want to move on to that far corner. Now I actually missed the jump on this first occasion, but you basically aim in slightly to the right of that that plant that's in front of you, and you're just going to wriggle in underneath the beam there. And as I say, because of that beam, there's a natural shadow getting cast up there. So once I get up there, I'm just going to pop out of the drone and show you what it looks like. So just to the right of the tree, you'll get in there, you'll wriggle under, and then you can just move your way back forward, and that's going to give you a view of about 90% of the vault there. So you can easily report if there's anybody in there, and if they are, whereabouts they are. And as I say, use that in conjunction with Get Flank's vertical video. There's a link in the description. Check that out when you're done here, and you can definitely get some kills with this one while they're watching both of those angles. On to Kafe then, and another spot here that cuts off a vital rotation. You've got the door out of reading room, you can cover dining room, the corridor towards train, and most importantly, the white stairs rotation. So if you think that you might get flanked whilst attacking upstairs, this is a great one to use. Another one here that's reasonably pain-free to get to. If we hop in the drone, you're looking for the desk in the corner near the little laundry room, and you can get up on top of the lamp, which I will do on second time of asking, and then with a clean jump, you can actually reach up on top of the speaker. So another one of those nice vertical jumps, you'll get yourself up there, tuck into the corner. It's not one of the most camouflaged, but it will be extremely useful. As we look to our final spot, which is going to be on Coastline, it's another one that I'm sure you are going to take away and try today and get some success with it. This one covers the sunrise area, particularly the bar, and anything looking towards kitchen. It can cover the area that looks towards blue bar. This one really is very powerful for a Coastline map on any of the downstairs objectives. Another popular one, I'm sure then, and quite quick to achieve. This one's going to be useful for anybody who even likes to enter through sunrise, then that's a lot of people. So you hop up onto the wine cart. If you look straight ahead, the central golden element of that light, you jump at that at an angle, you're going to catch the ledge above it, and then turn yourself 180, and you can jump across onto the decorative screen that's hanging from the ceiling, and then just adjust to suit. That's all the spots that I've got for you today, and as promised, I've covered the majority of the ranked maps. As I said at the beginning, the important thing here is to use 4 or even 5 of those initial drones, get them into these static spots, have a look for yourself around the maps. I've given you some ideas there, and just pop them in there, and then you can use that intel throughout the round. As always, we'd like to thank everybody for the support. We've gone over 2,000 subscribers, which is absolutely crazy. If you haven't already, please hit like, please hit subscribe. There's going to be a lot more Siege content coming from us, and hopefully you've seen something today that's going to help you stop being that easy kill and say enough is enough. We'll see you next time.